What is going on, Rivian fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to give you a good overview of what is happening with Rivian today, what the data points are saying, and over and above that, I want to talk on two articles that some individuals have asked me to kind of interpret. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So currently down 3.4%, but yet the broader market is very much rallying. What is going on? So as you can tell, there is some specific stuff for Rivian that's causing it to go down. But today there was CPI data that did come out. So year over year did come in line with the forecast at 6%. Month over month was flat at 0.4. So there's two different ways to interpret this. Of course, CPI is still at 6%, so fairly high. But even if you look at, for instance, a month over month, it goes to show, and it breaks it down over here, that of all the basket items, it does look like if you take less the energy and food components, it still is generally going up. So behind the scenes, energy did go down, and I think that's what is skewing the numbers and making it look a little bit better than expected. But this is where some people are looking at this data as not necessarily the best. But like I said, because of the whole bank scenario and things like that and how it's being bailed out but yet not being bailed out, I think that is kind of overshadowing or overdoing the CPI data. So normally I like to look at this first thing because this does have all the things compiled in one. So SEC filings, so the latest being March the 10th, there's press releases and so forth. But in this, there was two things that I want to talk on. One of which is right here. So there is Rivian looks to sell electric vans to more customers than Amazon. And some people are taking that as a negative. And the way I interpret that, I also cover, for instance, a couple other stocks, one of which is Mullen. And they recently got a very big agreement by RRDS. So in general, though, there is about $2.7 billion of this whole RRDS Inc. that potentially they want to buy electric vans. So of course, there's a huge market out there for vans and government bodies that want to buy vans. So I think at the end of the day, Rivian is smart to do this. And unfortunately, a lot of people are interpreting this as a negative, but in reality, they're just trying to kind of capitalize on the market. Because if there's anyone that is only prioritizing on one customer, then unfortunately, that kind of just limits your overall amount of efficiency that you can have. And of course, where there is a very high interest, high inflation environment, which we're in, you need to increase your efficiency by any way possible. So again, that might be something that you need to know. But of course, as a result, Rivian most likely would lose a significant amount of investment from Amazon. So it's kind of one of those hit and misses that you need to weigh out. I personally see it as a positive sign. I never would want any one of my companies I do own or stocks I own to only be limited as far as its customer base. So I think in general, that's a fairly positive thing. But of course, this is where any piece of news could be interpreted as positive or negative. And unfortunately, given the market right now, people are seeing that as negative. And second one, news did come out today saying Morgan Stanley highlights margin concerns for Rivian. So I think this has always been one of those concerns for Rivian. It's just how much money they're burning through every single quarter. And unfortunately, I always like to play devil's advocate, even though I physically do own some shares of Rivian. I think around 1,200 give or take, but I always like to play devil's advocate. And I completely do agree with Morgan Stanley that Rivian does need to make this a very big priority. And based on the recent earnings, and I listened through the conference, they didn't really highlight what I would have liked to have heard on trying to kind of minimize that. They did touch on it vaguely, but not to the extent where it's a big priority. But again, I could be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor. You guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. When it comes down to Morgan Stanley, I'll just quickly pop over here just to give you guys a good breakdown. So it doesn't look like got any new ratings with exception of Truist Securities. They did give a $44 rating, and this is on Interactive Brokers. I do have a link to them in the description below. Once again, another very free account. And I like this because, for instance, TipRanks does cost money every single month. But if you have an account through Interactive Brokers, it is very much free. So of course that is something that you need to know. So for instance, at 𝗓𝗓 does only have a 28% success rating, and it looks like Adam Jonas as well did give a $26 target or a price target yesterday with Morgan Stanley, and he only has a 48% success rating. But no matter what though, even though with Morgan Stanley clearly very concerned about Rivian, they give a $26 price target. So the fact that it's trading at $13.24 is absolutely crazy. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that. I also like to very much look at the data points behind the scenes, such as dark pool and the secondary market. Secondary market has been very quiet for Rivian. Normally, you see a lot of big money buying. Of course, you do see these two transactions, so 4.54, 1.55, and both of them were buys. And you can tell that based on looking at the bid and the ask and the price it went for. So of course, you can tell that this one was over the ask in general. But behind the scenes, it's just showing that a lot of big money is not necessarily getting into Rivian for whatever reason. Dark pool, for the most part, same amount of transactions, just as far as the dollar value, a little bit less. And looking here, you do see a lot of puts being purchased, and this one stands out right here. So this alone is $340,000 in put premium. So clearly people are very much doubtful on Rivian. And even if you look as far as the hot chains, it looks like $10.0750 for roughly around September or January of 2024 is anticipated. So of course, this doesn't necessarily move the stock by any means, but it's a good sentiment to kind of follow. And as far as what shorts, I'll give you guys a quick summary on what shorts are doing. So short score is currently 60, utilization is 40. And again, I'm not bringing this up because I'm thinking or saying that this is a squeeze, but it's good to see what these individuals are doing, because these individuals are clearly betting against Rivian. And even though it's a very much red day, they are returning 1.42 million shares. So of course that could be perceived as optimistic and bullish, and that they might anticipate a little bit more of a potential rebound as well. But 8.19% is a short interest, which is a percentage of the free float. Cost to borrow is 1.06, so very, very small, like I said. But when it comes down to the actual technicals, it is well below all the pivotal moving averages. And as far as the two indicators that I like to watch for, momentum number retail investors are kind of flat, so they are buying the dip, but not necessarily big money. So once again, that might be a positive thing to you, negative thing, I'll leave that up to you guys to make that determination. Stochastic is currently at 5, which is very oversold. And so if there is a good piece of news, and potentially Rivian could have a nice rally as a result. But of course, given the circumstances, I think they are just on a very negative downtrend right now, and I don't see any positive news coming for Rivian. So of course, I'm still holding my position. I'm just doing covered calls just to collect some additional premium. But given the circumstances, I do feel that it is going to continue to trend down. But of course, like I said, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Let me know your thoughts on Rivian in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Also, even though it is a very much red day, take advantage of promos while you can. And one very good promo is with moomoo. So just by opening up a basic account, you get one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. It is a complete no-brainer, so you might as well just sign up and get that one free stock. If you also want to throw $100 at it, there is an additional promo. You get 4 free additional stocks. Again, each could be valued up to $2,000. And also, because of the whole AI movement, they are adding 2 stocks, one of which is AI, the other one BBAI, so part of the whole chat AI movement. So of course, just by $100, you get 7 free stocks. Take advantage of promos like this while you can. This is only until March the 31st. Link is in the description below, and also put it in the comments. So even if you just sign up, like I said, get that one free stock, you might as well. But without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Rivian.